So basically, what is the one or two things that makes people want to engage and continue watching a 10 minutes video? You know, with Mindvalley videos, it's always super long. I don't know, somehow it hooks someone inside, like it hooks me inside. I'll watch it for the next 5, 8, 10 minutes. What's that secret sauce?
To keep it simple, the recent one that I've been using a lot is the 6 tips to make engaging content. You can use this in anything you do. But first of all, if you have these 6 things, then it will make your viewers interested, right? Like sticky, you know?
Again, I'm excited to have you, Mimi. You're very experienced. I've seen your work. You worked at Mindvalley. That is something that I really want to find out and learn how you guys do content and also the video ads in Mindvalley, which I think is amazing. You've been at Mindvalley for quite many years, right? What's your role there and what exactly did you work on?
I think I started off as part of their 6-person video crew in the storeroom, and then we grew together with the company. And from production, I went into making like courses and documentaries, and then somehow the team grew along, and then we branched out into like specialized group into doing courses, then some into ads and some into like content marketing, which is actually where I'm more into. I am more involved in the organic content. I kind of like get involved in various teams. We work together as well as because we also do events. Being a creative at style, a jack of all trades, like pretty much you put me there, I will shoot and film and direct and edit and strategize the content with the distribution team, with the marketing team from end to end.
So you mentioned that you were more involved in organic content.
Yeah, so I started off as a creative and made my way to marketing, but also because I work in a company who is kind of like a marketing company, right? Started out as an affiliate marketing, and then we changed our strategy, we moved into like making our own products, and then into events, and then education. And
so for those who are uninitiated, right, you mentioned that Mindvalley started off as an affiliate marketing company. Maybe you can give us a summary of how that evolved and for us to get a sense of idea.
Correct me if I'm wrong, maybe not affiliate marketing. To be fair, like I started out as a creative, I don't know all these marketing jargons, but what we essentially do, and we pretty much help people like repackage their products and sell them on our platform. And we have like 100 over products. So yeah, then we move on to just like, oh, why don't we make our own products, right? Start making our own apps, you know, kind of like creating our own ecosystem. And if I were to like relay it back to something that is more like relatable to our conversations today about us on content marketing, everybody's making content, but how are you making a content experience that is like a journey?
You mentioned journey and also story. So I know you have worked with the team to launch like $1 million projects, $1 million courses, programs with some of these authors and some of the partners that, well, you guys work with, right? What is something that people do not know when it comes to creating content for those kind of launches?
Everything is about storytelling. My journey doesn't start from Mindvalley, right? I started off as an animator. I work in visual effects studios making like Hollywood movies. You'll find my name in a lot of credits. So I work on at least 10 or 11 movies.
Wow.
Then I also work in games and all, right? It's always about story. And like as I work throughout the years in various fields, I start to piece together the puzzle. It seems like everything we do is storytelling. When we think about shooting a course, right? How is the experience for the student that is learning? You want to understand like, okay, the student that was going to take this course, what are their experience level, their understanding? Then you want to like create that journey based on where they're at, right? And when you create that journey, it's kind of like storytelling. How do you get me hooked to watching a course that have 10 videos? You know, you start going into the psychology, right? Like, okay, where do they usually consume this? Are they always on the road? Or maybe we want to make it like bite-sized because it's like optimized for phone and all. And when do they tend to watch it? And then if you know most of the audience will watch your course on sleep, maybe after work, then what will be the hook line that you want to hook them, right? And then you keep them tight and then you start talking more. It's kind of like social, but now like so like all over the place because there's so many things we can talk about.
When it comes to creating video content, do you guys have any like storytelling frameworks that you follow, or it's an open book every time?
Of course, we have framework instructions because in marketing, it's all about testing, right? For example, if you were to make a VSL, a video sales letter, I'm sure everyone in the market right now all are selling like buy my VSL template for you know, X amount of dollars. You know, everyone is just coming out with the format ads, you testing which one and see which one works. But at the same time, it's all about playing with the hooks, right? And the difficult part about this is being a organic or paid ads. Us as the consumer, we get bored with things very fast. Probably like 1 or 2 months later, like although that hook line is very strong. For example, one interesting one I can think of now is like why do you have diabetes, right? Because every morning you're eating sugar already, like cereals, something like that lah. Or like you have been doing this wrong for the longest time. Yeah, it's very like thought-provoking drama, feel like scroll stopping. But if I keep seeing this for like 1 month, I get tired of it and then I'll just scroll past, right? So it's also about how do you keep constantly updating and keep it fresh and new. You know, we Malaysians, we like to eat, right? If you keep eating it, you will also find something you don't like about it once. You personally need to have variety.
So basically, what is the 1 or 2 things that makes people want to engage and continue watching a 10 minutes video? Like for example, you know, with Mindvalley videos, it's always super long. I don't know, somehow it hooks someone inside, like it hooks me inside. I'll watch it for the next 5, 8, 10 minutes and actually finish it. It's like, oh, what's that secret sauce?
That secret sauce is, to keep it simple, the recent one that I've been using a lot is the 6 tips to make engaging content. You can use this in anything you do. But first of all, if you have these 6 things, then it will make your viewers interested, right? Like sticky, you know? You need to have a really strong hook from a Gen A perspective, right? Like 15, 16-year-olds making like social content these days. You might want to like make that person angry when they see that statement, that they want to comment on that video. That's why they watch that video. That depends. Then you guys adjust what's your meter, right? Basically, thought-provoking drama field or like paradigm shift, like you have been doing this wrong for the longest time. Like this is why you shouldn't drink coffee. Like what the hell, man? Right? That's one, the hook.
Yeah.
Second thing is, some will say hero. Hero means like you gotta have a human figure. We just like relate to it, right? Or even just a character. If you watch cartoon characters like Pixar and all, eventually, no matter how short or how long the video is, they can relate to it, right? Rather than if it's just like motion graphics or like text on screen. The third one, we got to have strong emotions. Take an example, social media reel, simple 1 minute. How can you evoke strong emotion? There's so many ways you can do it. It could be from the delivery of the message, that I say something like, or someone say something really vulnerable, like, yeah, I lost all my hair when I woke up last week, and you know, like something that's like, oh my god, like what's going on? Or if it's not that method, you can do it like the executional method, like retention editing. And the editors can do like a lot of like effects, you know, like this like, or like if you look at Diary of the CEO, they tend to have like sound effect. I hear the sound effect like something is coming, it's like, you know, some sense of emotion. And together with that, like the previous one that I mentioned with you, with all the effects and all, goes to the fourth one, which is you gotta have some movements, right? Or like just having that person like moving the hands, or like, you know, it's just like, oh, like getting distracted. The fifth one is it got to be edutainment. It's educative and entertaining at the same time. Plain education is just boring. It's very vanilla, right? Especially when you have tough topics like finance or like law or politics. One good example, if you have time, go to Washington Post TikTok channel. So, for example, Washington Post is a news channel. It's very dry. It's very dry content. Sometimes I was like, oh my god, the people there, I don't know how they're gonna like do their organic content. On news, on YouTube, it's all very formal because I'm sure they have like brand guardrails. But because TikTok, sometimes they need to speak to the TikTok people, right? So if you look at Washington Post TikTok, they managed to do it really well in the TikTok way, but still news, you know? So that's edutainment, for example. Yeah, and then the last one, of course, you have to have a message, you have to have a CTA. Pretty much the 6 secret sauce.
Very interesting. Mimi, this is amazing. I'm just wondering, right, like you have worked with a lot of other, how would I call them, like course makers, authors, or maybe other influencers, thought leaders, right, to create courses and programs. I've seen a lot of people in the SME market who are business owners themselves, brand owners. When it comes to creating content, or a lot of them do not know how to present themselves. Have you seen that in Mindvalley, and how do you guys overcome that?
Of course, I've seen the growth, because the first time I talk about Instagram to my bosses, I said IG. They were like, what IG? Instagram? What? But now they use it every day. They're probably like better than me. I generally don't create the content about myself, but now they're killing it out there. Definitely there are challenges, and organic marketing or like content marketing is not like instant result. You gotta do it for like a year, 2 years. I mean, if you're really good and consistent, maybe 6 months you start seeing a little returns or like something, right? But it takes time because also everybody is always learning. As much as I can say, like even now, like sometimes I might not nail a content, like I might come up with some ideas and it might not hit home, or like the hook might not be the perfect, because somehow we're all humans, right? In the end,
Yeah.
everybody's taste is just getting better and better. The audience, it comes with a lot of two-way collaboration. We need to understand your brand. We also want to understand like what's your brand persona, where you trying to head to, you know. Every week we take learnings, or every month we have like a deep dive and see is there anything we want to align. It's like constantly aligning. It's the same as marketing. You always A/B test. It's the same process.
How much customer feedback or audience feedback do you guys do?
Well, the easiest example that I can share that anyone can do is social, for example. Social is actually really good. Like 70% of people will buy your products after they check social. So I would say social is a good example to show right now. Sometimes it's just paying attention to the comments. Say you have 4 platforms, right? TikTok,
Yes.
YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. Just look through all your content, your DMs, your comments. You will somewhat get like what people want already, right? And then you start using content to create something and put it out again. Then you are like doing 2 things at a time. Where you're learning about your audiences and social listening and testing if whatever content you put out resonate. And if you're running ads or anything, that you can always see in the numbers, right? Your engagement rate, cost per acquisition.
Yeah, it's funny because when I was thinking about the theme for this upcoming Under.con, right, I went to the place, Taylor's, and I took like a quick video, and then I posted a poll. I can't remember the exact words I used, but what would be more engaging? What was something that you want to discover? Content, AI, or something else? I think e-commerce or something like that. I got the highest vote for content, and that's why it's Content Con.
I don't know the exact number, but if you search on Google right now, there's a formula of counting it with the amount of platforms that is out there right now. All these social platforms need X amount of content in a day, or like in every hour. Like we are still lack of content right now. If you're a content creator, it's still not saturated right now. The demand is still really high. Because people are consuming faster than the speed that we're making it. Because I will look at my parents, the way they consume TikTok and Instagram and Facebook, because they're just chilling at home, right? So I would say at least 10 hours of scrolling, right? They don't even watch TV so much. It's on the phone, and TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram are like, like I'm a content creator. I don't create content for myself. I create content for like brands and people, but I don't think I can create as fast as you guys consume.
Yeah, I think there's some insights in that, right? And let's just say I'm a brand owner and I'm starting to sell, or maybe my brand is into all these little microphones that I do. How would you advise a brand like me to get started on social media or content?
There is no right or wrong answer. You can start with one, and then slowly when your team is ready, then you start adopting others. But there's also nothing wrong with starting with 4. For example, let's say if you're a new brand, but you don't want to miss the boat on other channels, what you can do is, let's say Instagram, you're always on Instagram. You yourself use Instagram a lot. Then it feels like you are fluent with Instagram. So I will advise you to focus on Instagram, but then you still start your other channels. So they kind of like mirror it. It's kind of like you make a content for Instagram, but you take the same video and you post it on TikTok. We know that it's not gonna work because TikTok needs to be like built for TikTok. But in a sense, that's one way. At least you are kind of like already starting consistent posting and you're getting the handle. Or if you really want to be the perfectionist, then you start one channel at a time. For even Mindvalley haven't nailed TikTok yet. They were more Instagram focused, Facebook and LinkedIn. And then Twitter and Instagram are all mirrors. Because like Washington Post, for example, I'm sure the creatives for TikTok is separate, YouTube separate, that natively, but that's when you have a big team. Also, one bonus tips is, what I've seen is having a human figure, like I said, really engage better. The tough thing about growing a brand channel like brand social is some brands don't have a human to represent the brand. So it tends to be a bit harder. But I've seen in a couple of like different brands, let's say the CEO or the founder, they have their own separate social channel. So that's the personality one. Whenever there is like the collab post with a personality brand, things tends to 3x. Organic ads 3x, sales 3x. Also, you will notice like if you look at the professional dashboard, the brands one, they will reach non-followers more generally. Personal one will reach like followers more. But that's like the generic default most of the time.
Actually, that's really, really interesting because that's kind of like what I do on a very small scale as well. But I think I'll leave that debate, that discussion during the conference. I think I will talk about that with you. I mean, just to let you know, I'm on the personal brand side. I believe, along with you, every company should have like a figure, founder, the CEO or spokesperson. If they don't have that, then create like a character, Gecko Insurance, they have this lizard. Food Panda, they have this panda, so at least a character that comes out of that. But since you mentioned about consistency, right? Anything about consistency and how often should we post?
How often can you post? The ideal answer is every day. If you do every day one post, at least you have more things to test, right? But if you cannot, don't start every day first. Because you want to keep going up and not like go up to suddenly go down, right? That really will harm your channels.
Really?
Like for a few months on. I've seen people show they notice like there is like a buffer time because they've been posting every day. Suddenly they post only like once a week. On a long term, it did like cap them a bit lower growth. So you want to slowly ease up. But it's kind of like I don't know, algorithms are always changing, but most of the time this is still kind of valid. So kind of gray area, but I don't want to be on the cap side lah.
Okay, that's really good insights. I think that there's something that I would love to discuss on as well. So anyway, I'll keep it to the event itself. So thank you, Mimi, for this session, and I guess I'll see you soon.